Okay, welcome to episode 2 of Hex Bond Protocol. So in the last episode we made a encapsulated hex stake and we minted a hex bond. Marvellous. But what is this Hex Bond Rewards token that's so integral to the system? Well, at launch there was a sacrifice period where those day one users wanted to get their hands on the token because actually there's many uses for the token, and in my eyes, and then obviously everyone else that sacrificed eyes, it's a valuable token that they wanted. Now, initially we can see, if we go to the dashboard, it can tell us that there's a 1.41 billion supply minted so far. There will be a maximum of 25 billion hard cap, which takes 100 years to be slowly distributed in the farms. Now, if we want Hex Bond Rewards, you can buy it off the market. There is a 6% buy and a 6% sell tax, which we'll get to what that does momentarily. But a large percentage of the supply undoubtedly will be farmed. So if you have created your Hex Bond tokens from a stake, or you've purchased them off the market, and you've got some Hex Bonds, you can add the Hex Bonds to liquidity with Hex and farm it. The bigger the liquidity with Hex, the bigger the market, the bigger the trades, the better for the ecosystem. So to reward the users for farming, the incentive is that you earn the rewards token. If we go over to the farms, we can see there is a number of farms. Now we have got, in dollar terms, $72,000 in value locked up in the farms, and that's locked HBR. We've got the price there. Again, it tells us the supply, but then we go down and we can see we could actually take our Hex Bond Rewards token and earn at the minute 163% APR by pairing it with PLS and farming. We can see in each farm, we won't go through all of them, but in each farm it tells you the total amount of each coin that's in that liquidity, and then it will show you what you've got here staked, any that you've got in the wallet that's not staked, and your rewards, how much you're getting. All right. So if you have which we'll do in a moment, but if you have a Hex Bonds Rewards PLS LP, you can click stake. You can do the maximum here. All right. And you can farm your LP. We've got the Hex and Hex Bond Rewards LP. We also then, that's the only two farms where you can use Hex Bond Rewards to farm more Hex Bond Rewards. Other than that, we've got the big juicy dates, Hex, and then the Hex Bond 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 and 8,000. I asked a question to Cash today in the Telegram group. I said, Cash, we're farming for 100 years with this. So when day 3,000 arises, this farm's obviously going to be retired, but by that point would there be a new one? His answer is yes. By that point there'll be Hex Bond 9,000. We'll do the main dates 10,000, 11,000, and as the other ones retire, new ones will emerge, always giving us a number of farms to earn HBR token. So let's say you are farming it, you've got your HBR token. If you want to sell it, I'm sure Cash would say, be my guest. Yeah, it's a valuable token, however, and many of us understand the value of it, because there's other things you can do. Yes, you can take the 6% tax to sell. It's free money for you. Thank you very much. There's the door. But if you then reinvest into the ecosystem by staking your HBR, what you'll find then is that by staking your HBR, you can then earn further HBR from the reflections that the tax generate. So some tax tokens, if you just hold it in your wallet, you'll get the reflections. However, here you need to stake your HBR. So you can stake it. We do it for a 90-day period. If any day before the 90 days you pull out your HBR, you lose some of the principal. All right, and it says here, unstaking locked principal before day 90 burns a bit of that share. There's the line, yeah. You unstake it after a day, you're going to lose nearly all of it. If you unstake it day 70, day 75, you're going to be, left with most of your principal. The idea is that you don't early end stake. So you stake it for 90 days, and all that time, you're accruing the rewards in further HBR token. Sounds good? It does indeed. So you can stake to earn more of the same. Another really interesting utility is that you can actually go to the vault section, and then you can deposit your HBR token into a number of vaults. So here you can say any of the main dates, 3,000 all the way through to 8,000. If you stake any of your HBR token in any of these, let's say HB 3000, and I'm going to put in my whatever I've got, yeah, if I had some, we could do it. I will then have some HBR in that vault. Let's say the amount of my HBR in the vault is 2% of the entire amount in that vault. What I would then receive from that is 2% of any and all rewards in that vault in the HB 3000 token. Any minting of the HB 3000, any of the HB, but we'll talk about the HB 3000, any minting of the HB 3000, any wrapping of HTT 3000 into HB 3000, or any unwrapping of HB 3000 back into HTT 3000 incurs a 1% fee. That 1% fee is then distributed to everybody in this vault. So if I held 2% of the total amount of HBR in the vault, I'd get 2% of all of those mint fees. If I stacked it in HB 4000, it would be much the same, but for anything in 4000. So your reward here for staking your HBR will be your Hex Bond token. In addition to that, some of the external revenue made from the treasury is going to buy core coins over here. As you can see, there's a 1.2 million PLS in the kitty, 1.1 million PLSX, 8,729 Hex, 15 Ink, and later on there'll be more use cases for DAI once the treasury has moved into phase 2, but we'll get to that another time. But what it's known as a basket of core coins. Being in any vault, you will then be eligible to receive some of what's been dripped out. You can see it's releasing slowly, and whatever, say if let's just say I was 1% of all of the vaults in total, I'd get 1% of this. So it matters not what vault you're in, you're going to get trickled these, and then you can claim your basket at any time. So HBR, you can vault it, and then the more the protocol is used in minting, wrapping and unwrapping, the more HB tokens you're going to receive by being locked in the vault. It's a 90-day vault, people, so much the same. Any early release of your HBR would suffer a loss. So think hard before you put it in, all right? But I can't see it you being, you're certainly not going to lose out from putting it in. You just need to be aware, of course, you could suffer a loss if you exit early. Right, so we can earn HBR. We could LP HBR with PLS and Hex and farm it to earn more HBR. We could simply stake the HBR to earn the reflections from it. One thing I didn't say is that if you just stake it for more reflections, the Treasury has said from time it will also use external revenue to buy the HBR and distribute it in that pool as well. So you can earn from that, and also you can earn in the vaults. So we have got 3 core different utilities for the Hex Bond Rewards token. Yes, there is a tax, and every day whilst we have liquidity, with the more liquidity the better, we are getting The arbitrage is trickling that tax in, which will go to buy and burns and whatever the Treasury deems fit. But that's not the only use. That's like the icing on the cake. The Treasury has raised over £1 billion PLS in the sacrifice period, and it is actively investing in cores and using it to generate external revenue, which certainly a common thing the Treasury said it would do is buy HBR token and burn it. So lots of use cases. There is buy pressure, and as Cash says, be my guest to be sell pressure. But if you understand what you're holding, you probably won't sell it. Okay, so we get onto the supply. At the minute, we've got 1.41 billion. Now, Cash is crystal clear. He has a 5% developer fee. And that 5% of the total max supply is actually 1.25 billion. And that's already been minted. But that is locked. And over once every year, over a 5-year period, that will be unlocked. Cash has also said that half of that is going to his developer, and he's keeping half. Now, you may think this is a trust me bro, and at the end of the day it is. But Cash says there's no reason for him to sell. He has never sold a coin that is ever in the Cash X. He's never sold anything. But that's a trust me bro. But you know what? I trust that, because why would he sell when he can use it to earn? But that's part of the supply. So if we go over to Pulse Scanner, I've put in the Hex Bond Rewards. We can see there's the contract. Let's just refresh. I'm going to copy that and paste that again. Let's see if any numbers have changed. But I'm going to see what the supply is. The exact supply, Hex Bond Rewards. And that supply is trickling upwards because of the farming emissions. But if I take the absolute current total supply and I plop it in the calculator, if I minus the 1.25 billion that's locked away, we actually only have 161, let's round it up, 162 million in circulating supply that was distributed to those sacrifice holders. Generally, that's a couple of days ago. Maybe a little percentage of that is more farming emissions. Yeah. If we go back to Hex Bond and look, we can see. Let's have a look in the farms. It doesn't tell us specifically, but we've got $72,000 locked up in the farms. Now, I'm not sure whether half of that is the value of the HBR locked or whether that's all of it. Good question. But if we go to staking, we can see that staked, we've got 39 million. So let's just say, okay, minus 39 million. 122 now is potentially in circulating supply. Of course, a large chunk of that's in that farms, which we can't calculate. What about the volts? Does it give us an overall? I think here there's a total of 48. I'll just put that exactly in. 48 odd million apparently in total in the volts. Let's take that off. Okay, so now we've got 73 million in potentially circulating supply. So some of that's in the farms. I wonder how much of that's in the farms. So if we go over to our liquidity pool checker, make it a bit bigger, I'll just put the contract address in and I scan it. We've got $15,000 just would have been in those two pools for the Hex Bond Rewards. What do we got? In total, we've got 49 million. I'll put that exact number in liquidity. So now I've got a better picture of what that dollar total was because of all of the, obviously, the Hex Bond farms. So I go, where's my calculator? I'll take that off as well. And before you know it then, we've got potentially 24 million is, we'll say, sitting in people's wallets. Maybe a large part of that is actually sitting in people's to claim. Maybe they're claiming it from the farms. Maybe they're ready to sell. Who knows? But we're just doing a bit of an investigation into what this Hex Bond Rewards token is all about. So, are you going to buy it? Are you going to farm it? When you got it, are you going to stake it? Are you going to farm it again, or are you going to vault it? Or are you going to sell it? Lots of different things, lots of different utilities. What an interesting token. I'm very, very, very happy to be farming and to be accumulating. And I personally haven't got a reason why I'd want to sell, because I'm in the vaults, I'm in the farms. When I get some more, no doubt I'm going to stake it. You tell me, what are you going to do? But for today's video about what the Hex Bond Rewards token is, there you have it. See you in the next one.